Hello, this is Shae Spitz with Business Unscripted, and I am here with Melissa Manning, right?
Yes.
I'm much more familiar with your maiden name, so.
Crab.
That's right. That's right. Yes, absolutely. So where are you currently living? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you currently do.
Yeah. So we live just outside of York, Nebraska with my husband, and we just had our daughter, Allison, in February.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We live just outside of there and serving Lincoln and kind of that area.
Okay.
We started my business officially launched last summer.
Okay.
So yeah, on top of being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at.
Oh yeah. It's all juggling, that's for sure.
Yes.
So tell us about your business, what it is, what you do, the name of your business.
Yeah. So my business is Heartland Reveal. We do staging and interior decorating and styling. So like I mentioned, we officially launched last summer. And so we are offering staging consultations for realtors, partnering with realtors and builders, kind of helping with staging services there, or interior decorating styles for homeowners for their home. Because staging is basically, it has a lot of similarities to interior design.
Yes.
Decorating to sell. Basically.
Yes. Yep. And staging is a big part of selling a home.
Right.
Not always in this market necessarily, because sometimes the new construction is selling before it even is completed.
Right.
But it is extremely, extremely important when it comes to being on the home, or even if it's just a model house. I mean, staging can make or break a property. Even when I'm listing homes, it makes a big difference when a property is vacant versus very well maintained and decorated. It makes a night and day difference. It really does.
It really does. We do a lot of consultations, like I mentioned. So just helping the homeowner get ready for selling their home and explaining to them, how you stage a property isn't always how you might decorate it yourself, and how to appeal to the audience that you're trying to sell the home to.
Yes. So, yep. So do you actually do the staging yourself, or is it just recommendations? Like, do you go in there and set everything up?
Yeah, so it's definitely an option. So we start out with the consultation where we go through and give the homeowner and the realtor, we partner with both of them together, and then we give them all the recommendations. So from landscaping on the outside all the way into the home. And then we give them a list of all of our recommendations. And then from there, they can choose to, we kind of give them an action list, like here's the things that we would really want you to do. And they either are comfortable doing it on their own, or they can have us come back and we can do the staging for them.
Okay.
It just kind of depends.
Yeah. I feel like the hardest part about being a consultation or, consulting people when it comes to staging, decorating is pricing, because I think everybody wants something a little bit different. And how do you offer that to your clients? Like, what do you have, like certain packages, and it's either you take one of these, or are you flexible with what they are particularly wanting?
Yeah. So the consultation is more of just a flat, like, this is how much it costs for this, the kind of that entry level service. And then there are packages that I can recommend once I kind of learn what a client is looking for. And I like to be able, being a smaller business, being able to kind of customize my services around who I'm serving to, because it might not always fall within a certain package. So
and especially I think once when you're getting started, until you can kind of get up and going and building that clientele, it probably makes it a little bit, because I know I'm not the easiest person to work with too. I obviously I'm having you help me with the Airbnb, so I know that's a little bit of a I don't know exactly what it is that I want, and I know we kind of went back and forth and round in circles, but no, you're doing a great job just throwing stuff at me and customizing the links. That's really helpful, like where you're pulling this information, because I think people make it it's tough to, I mean, we can see things and it's what we want, but it's finding those things and making sure that they're within our budget too, you know, and even in some of the ideas that you throw at us, it might trigger something else like, oh, hey, I like that idea, but I think I'm going to go with this instead. So I think that alone is super helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Especially even if you're, you know, staging our property or decorating, it helps to have people visualize a space because the majority of people can't do that. And so just kind of showing how you could pull things together and you just even helping people with what their budget is in the first place. Because we see all these curated spaces on like Instagram and things like that. And we're like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. And then you find out how much things cost. And things are crazy right now with you know, lead times for things. But just, you know, kind of setting budget is a huge part of the job for sure. Yeah.
Now, do you have any businesses that you partner up with that maybe offer a little bit of a discount if somebody is utilizing your services?
Yeah. So I mainly right now I'm working with Sherwin-Williams in Lincoln, trying to help with painting costs and services.
Nice.
So that's good.
Yep.
And just looking to really partner with realtors and builders and those types of things. Because people will ask me, do you know a builder in this area? Or do you know, just that type of relationship? Partnering. So
relationships are key when it comes to businesses and success. They really are. So when we had talked, you had said something about, you know, going through Wayfair and stuff. I mean, do you get a little bit more of a discount if somebody was to be using you and buy a product from there?
Yeah. So with a professional staging company or design, we have trade discounts. So working with different types of furniture and furnishing companies. So Wayfair is one that a lot of people know about. So we get professional discounts and access to, you know, more products than other, you know, a non-business account would have. So we can pass that along to our clients too. So I'm very big on being transparent in pricing and things like that. And so just if we can pass that along, that's huge. So.
Well, and keep in mind, because I know you said that you don't have like an upcharge right now at all, but in reality though, businesses, even contractors, I mean, they do upcharge 8 to 10%. So I don't ever want you to think that you feel guilty for doing that, because that's just the name of the business. Because in all reality, you might still be saving them a little bit of money or even getting it at a decent price because you're getting a bigger discount. So you have to kind of recoup some expenses too. I mean, that's business. And I don't think that anybody should ever feel guilty for that, because you made those connections, you did the work to acquire those discounts from the beginning. So it definitely makes a big difference. You know, I mean, people think that people shouldn't upcharge, but in reality, it's not necessarily your time right then and there, but it's the time and the energy and the relationship that you built prior to that. So that's a huge part. So don't ever feel guilty for, I guess, upcharging or putting some sort of percentage on it, because contractors do it all the time. I mean, it's what it is.
It's definitely one of the things as I'm starting with my business is learning how to be confident in my pricing, confident in, you know, what the services that I offer and how beneficial it is, and that all that time that it does take to just learning the time that it does take to get a design together or, you know, work on staging the presentations that we give to our clients afterward. So
so you keep saying we. So do you have a team of experts, or I guess what is your we?
So some advice I got, it's just me right now. Some advice I've got from others in the past is to use the term we, because I want to hire.
I like that. So see, I love that.
So it is just me. My husband would like to say he's in on
so
on things too. So I
like that idea. It's how you say what you believe is what you'll become. So
you know, thinking in the future, you know, thinking of the type of business you want to be
Well, so
and
actually,
working
it's actually,
towards that.
yeah, so it's actually funny. So Gary Keller, who owns KW, Keller Williams, when he had his own brokerage, he would answer the phone call whenever somebody would call and say, Keller Williams, national office. They weren't a national office, but that was his goal. So he's like, what better way to instill that in your mind than saying it every single day over and over again? And that is, I absolutely love it.
Exactly.
The saying, fake it till you make it. But in reality, I mean, it's the perfect concept. It really is. So, I mean, you're not faking it, but it's just putting that repetition and that giving you that mindset. So I love the idea. Love it. So that's cool. But then also the cost of, I'm sure you probably had to get certified, you took classes. It's not paying you for your time. It's paying you for your experience.
Right. Yeah. I would say definitely getting education on, just to be able to know what you're talking about and be able to provide the best service you can. And education is a huge part of that too. And a lot of people, like I said, or especially like with realtors and things, working with clients, sometimes it's like, they just want another professional to come in and say, hey, can you, also suggest these changes too. So just having someone that has that education helps.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, I think the hardest part, because as an agent, when we come up with listing prices, we have comparables, we have comps to basically justify, we have actual data. Now, what I think would be really difficult as somebody who's going to be staging somebody's house or suggestions is you really have to kind of get to know the person. It's not just what their house looks like. I mean, because you may suggest painting. Well, if then they paint, then they might want to change these things up. So how do you go about, because I'm sure some people out there may not be like, if not necessarily staging, but do you decorate people's houses?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So that's where the tough part I think would be, because even though it might not be something that you like, you have to kind of figure out what it is that they like.
Right. Yeah. So kind of switching the mindset of, okay, not staging, but also like designing for the person. And kind of, I think the biggest thing is just to get to know the person, listening to what they're saying, asking them how they want to use their space that they're living in, because they might think they have a certain design style. But then you hear what they actually like and what they want, and you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of what they're actually looking for.
Yeah.
So that's a big part, and educating them along the way is helpful too.
Oh, go ahead.
In a, not in a I know more than you way, but in a, like
exactly. Well, I mean, you go to a doctor and you want them to give you information because they are the professional. So if somebody's going to take offense to it, then you just move on, whatever. Have you ever done something where you're just like, kind of like you cringe at it, but yet they love it? I feel like that would happen to me. I'd be like, oh, it's absolutely terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely been times like with paint colors where they want to like incorporate certain things that are not my favorite. So definitely like colors where they want, like I had a client that wanted an orange wall, accent wall.
Yeah.
And kind of had to walk it back a little bit and show like we can use the accent colors instead. And so it ended up going okay, but yeah, there's different styles, and you have to be sensitive to people.
Very. Especially when it's going to be their house.
Yes.
Not just staging it. Yes.
That's the big thing. They have to love it. And at the end of the day, it's like, well, as a designer, it might not reflect my body of work that I'm going for, but I made my client happy.
Exactly.
So,
the bottom line is that you make your client happy. It may not be your showcase picture perfect design, but it made the client happy, and that's what it comes down to. So what got you into designing and why?
Yeah. So my husband and I, when we because I used to live in the Omaha area, so we moved to our home now, and we completely remodeled the whole thing, our whole home, and kind of really learned what goes into a home, like from the
bottom up, studs up.
Yep. And so just really loved that process, and had a lot of my friends and family kind of come and be like, oh wow, can you come help my house and things like that. And people are just asking me, like, have you always just, had this eye for, pulling things together? And so I think it's something I've always done, but just kind of finally got the confidence to step out and make it an actual business. I think a lot of friends and family pushing me and saying, hey, like, you could probably get paid to do this, like, that type of thing. So I'm
going to play off of that a little bit, because I think there's a lot of people out there, and I know I've talked about this on other podcasts too, but I think there's a lot of people out there who would love to do what they have always dreamt of, but don't take that leap of faith for several reasons. And you at least had the support from your family and friends. Do you think you would have taken this leap if you didn't have that support?
I think it was definitely a huge help, a huge driving force, obviously, to just have someone, outside of myself to kind of push me. But I think even if people don't have support from their immediate family or friends, if it's their true passion, they'll find, like a coach or a friend or someone that can kind of help maybe push them, because it does help when you have someone that's going to
absolutely
bounce ideas off of or say, nope, that's not a, try it. That type of thing. So I think that's huge.
Yeah. And I don't care what level of success somebody has, but a mentor of some sort, a coach, is key and crucial to growing and just to your success in general. Because, I mean, some of the biggest, most successful people out there still have some sort of mentor or coach, even though that doesn't sound possible because they're so successful, but they do. So you need somebody to push you outside your comfort zone. What would you say has been the best piece of advice for you and that has helped you in your professional career?
I would say just standing in your space, like knowing who you are. And I know we talk like, faking it till you make it in business. And there is some truth to that. I'm definitely learning, but in a different way. But knowing who you are and doing what you love, and that's going to attract people that you want to work with. I think that's huge, because you don't want to, lose opportunities because you're being somebody that you're not, or end up, not enjoying your work because you are not being yourself.
Exactly. So exactly. Staying true to who you are and your ethics and your morals, because once you start straying away from that, you're going to get caught up into messy situations and you're really not going to enjoy what you do. If you have to fake who you are, not fake it till you make it, but so no, I agree completely. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you and wanted a consultation or needed ideas for designing, how can they get a hold of you?
So several ways. They can go to our website, heartlandreveal.com. You can reach out to us we're on Facebook and Instagram, so at heartland.reveal.
Okay.
And then just reach out there. Can email at Melissa at heartlandreveal.com.
Melissa at heartlandreveal.com. Okay.
That's my email. So can reach
awesome.
out.
Phone number?
Too. That's 402-740-6063.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I'm looking forward to our relationship with the Airbnb too, because you're helping out with some decoration ideas and staging ideas and what to put where, because it's kind of an not awkward space, but it's long and rectangle. So gotta figure out what needs to go where to make it go smooth. So I appreciate you helping me out with that. So anybody who's listening, definitely reach out to Melissa if you're looking for any sort of staging, decorating designer. She'd love to help you out. She does come to Columbus, even though she lives out in York. She also travels to Lincoln and Omaha. And I'm sure surrounding areas. And then if you have any interest on being on the podcast, please reach out to Matt with 𝐒𝐿ite. What can they email you on, Matt?
Matt at 𝐒𝐇𝐀𝐄.
There we go. Matt at 𝐒𝐇𝐀𝐄, and 𝐒𝐿ite is VRLY.com. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.